Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week I'm taking a look back over some of my favourite nocturnal hunting trips with the Night Sight Night Vision add-on. But before that, I'm heading out on a daytime ratting session that turns out to be surprisingly hectic. It's a cold day today and I've headed out to the farmyard. Now this particular holding tends to attract a lot of pests during the winter months, partly because of these large barns that provide them with shelter when the weather turns tough. Also, with the cattle being in, there's a lot of feed here for them to raid. Now in the past we've had some very good sessions targeting feral pigeons and collared doves, but more recently it's been about the rats. Now I've been targeting them with night vision, and up until now I've not made any huge bags, but that could be set to change. I've had a tip off from the farmer and it's something just a bit strange. He reckons he's been seeing a lot of rats around by daylight. Now that's a bit surprising considering we've not seen a great deal when I've been out here with night vision. But this farm is frequented by barn owls and it could just be that the rats have changed their habits to avoid these flying predators. Now it is a very large farm, which means there are lots of areas where rats could be present. So what I'm going to do now is just head out, have a look around and see if I can find any potential hotspots. One thing that is apparent is that there are a lot of starlings around. These protected birds are flocking to the farm to tuck into the same feed that's attracting the rats. Right, now this bank looks very promising. There's a lot of muck here and it's where the muck gets scraped out of the cattle sheds and it builds up as they push it towards the slurry pit, which is just on the other side of the bank. Now I can see that the top of that muck has been really smoothed off, which suggests that rats have been running back and forth across it, literally using it as a rat run. Now there are also a few rat holes within that bank, so I think this is an area that I probably want to be covering. Right, I've settled myself into a spot that enables me to cover a few ratty looking areas at ranges from about 12 to 25 metres. Now, I'm aiming to take these rats with headshots and that's a very small target, but I'm using the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter air rifle, that's 177, sub 12 foot-pound, and coupled with Air Arms Diablo Field pellets, it is a remarkably accurate setup. Now, I've also put on my scope cam today, hopefully we can get some scope cam action. If any of you want to know how the attachment's made, we actually showed that in the last episode. And finally, I'm using the Primos trigger stick, and again, taking those headshots at a very small target, that extra stability is very, very helpful. The farmer is busy on his chainsaw, but I don't expect that will bother the rats. They're used to a lot of noise from machinery and livestock on this holding. The frequent disturbance caused by farm workers also means the rats here aren't unduly wary of people, so I'm not worrying too much about tucking myself away out of sight just yet. And just to confirm that those rats aren't too cagey, we've got a couple out already. Well, we didn't have to wait long for that one. There were actually two out when I took the shot, so it looks like we could be in for a bit of action. I was too slow to get on that one, but at least they're out and about. And there's another one. It really is strange seeing so many rats around by daylight when it's been so quiet here at night. The rats keep on coming, and I soon catch sight of another one in the straw. Well, that's the second one I've had from that heap of mucky straw. They're not quite fully grown, so I reckon there could well be a nest in there. We've seen a lot of small birds foraging for morsels among the muck, and plenty of scavenging rats too. This one's a bit further away, and I need it to keep still and offer me a clear shot at its head. Well, that was a slightly longer one. It was probably about 25 metres. So I actually gave the shot a little bit of hold under to compensate for the rise of the pellet. Now, there were actually 2 rats out again then, so there are quite a few on the move. And it's not long before another one creeps out. I need to move the trigger stick to get onto it, but the rat isn't spooked at all. It's amazing to see them behaving so confidently in broad daylight. Well, that was a big old rat. It actually ventured right out onto the yard. Now, I was concerned that it was going to disappear behind the gate, but it lingered in full view and gave me that nice clear shot. Another fidgety one in the shade of that bank there. Now, they really don't seem to like hanging around in that spot, and it could well be that that's the area that that barn owl's been frequenting at night. I've got another rat that's reluctant to keep still here. I keep tracking it in the sight picture. It may end up disappearing into the bank, but it could just as easily linger and offer me a good shot, and I want to be ready if it does. There's another big one. It also looked like being another fidgety one, but it did linger just about long enough to give me that shot. The intermittent buzz of the chainsaw hasn't abated since I arrived. Fortunately, nor has the steady trickle of rats. And this time, it's one up on the curb just beyond the gate. Well, that was a cracking shot. Caught that rat right between the eyes, and it really didn't know what had hit it. I've got a lot of faith in the kit I'm using today. I'm kitted out with a very precise air rifle, and using it from a rested position like this enables me to take full advantage of the chances that come my way. Well, that was another one from that hole in the straw. Now, I thought there was probably a nest in there, and it looks like I was probably right, so I'm going to keep an eye on that spot. There's plenty of bird life to watch while I'm waiting for the rats to come out. And although it's a very cold day, I'm dressed for the weather, and it's actually quite pleasant in the winter sunshine. A bit of action also makes the cold a whole lot more bearable, and I've certainly witnessed plenty of ratty activity during this fairly short visit. Well, there's another one, and that really does go to show that you can't write off daylight hours when it comes to ratting. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up now. They're about to fire up the machinery to scrape down the yard, and it's just not going to be safe for us to hang around here. And it'll probably put the rats to ground too. But one thing's for sure, I'm certainly going to be coming back for another daytime session very soon.